Welcome to my channel. That was a shite intro, really, wasn't it? Today's hot take is EXO are overrated. Now, if you don't know me, I'm Gino. I'm a big EXO fan. Made many videos about them on this channel, and I think they're an incredibly talented bunch of guys. But today we're going to be exploring the crazy opinion that they are a little bit overrated. And what I mean by overrated is they make some good songs, but they're not as good as people say they are, or that they're not as talented as people say they are. And we're going to be exploring that opinion today. Do I agree with it? You'll have to wait till the end to find out. Now, as a sort of introduction piece to this video, I'm going to talk about the reasons why people say they are overrated. They belong to a large company, SM Entertainment, who give them a lot of backing financially and in the realms of music, giving them really good producers to work with. They also give them songwriters and just a huge amount of support. The members of EXO don't really write many songs. Every now and again they will write one of the songs or two of the songs on an album, but in general they don't do much songwriting. And when they make music, it's often very samey. Lots of pop music, lots of dance pop, very simple structured songs. Another criticism that I often see levelled at them is that there's a little bit of a disconnect between some of the members in terms of what they do, how much talent they have. Personally, hate that, because you don't need to be blessed with talent. Hard work is equally as important. Their rap line is also often criticised as being weak in comparison to other groups. And of course, there are other groups that make much better music. And, you know, that's a hard point to argue, but yeah. So now let's get into the argument. Are they overrated or aren't they? I am going to be arguing that they are not overrated. The vocal lineup of EXO is just incredible. I think they probably have the best vocalists within the industry in their group. Chen especially just has an incredible range. Incredibly. I need to learn to pronounce that word. He is an incredibly talented man. He is, of course, actually one of the songwriters in EXO. He has written some really nice songs. Touch It is probably my favourite. It was off the War album. Really just a great song. When members do their solo work, that's often when you can see their incredible amount of talent shine through. Baekhyun, when he does his work, I feel like that face says it all. There's a huge amount of depth in EXO. Literally everybody in that group has some vocal ability, even the rap line. A lot of criticism is leveled at Sehun, that he can't sing, or that he doesn't get many lines because he isn't as good as a singer or rapper as anyone else in the group. But he brings a different style of things to EXO as a group. He is a fantastic dancer, and he can rap. I wouldn't argue he is the best rapper in the world, but he can. Another member who I've seen criticised a fair amount is Chen Yol. He is sort of the standout rapper within the group, and a lot of people say, he isn't an amazing rapper, and I would agree with them. He isn't amazing, but he has improved a lot. He's an incredibly talented guy, plays like 40 different instruments. He also has quite a nice vocal set. Something that is also overlooked by people levelling criticism at EXO is they are incredible dancers. And when we're talking about, a K-pop group, one of the most important aspects is their performance skills, their dancing, and that they are all incredibly good at it. Standout performers like Lay, Sehun, Kai, of course, they are the standouts, but everybody in the group, there's such a depth to it. You can't just think about these people as musicians. They are all-rounders. They do all sorts of things. Now, something I actually do want to use as an example of the reason I do not think EXO are overrated is the War album. Looking back at some of their past albums, Exact, Exodus, XOXO, I can definitely see why some people might think they are very inconsistent albums, but all you have to do is look at the War as a piece of music, and for me, that is a shining example of how talented they are. The range of genre mixing there is superb. The vocals throughout all the tracks are great, and the production, yeah, it is good. It's important, but honestly, for some of the tracks, the production is, I don't care, because every other aspect of the song is so good. And finally, to address the point about SM giving them so much backing, I actually think in some ways a large company holds you back. EXO are SM's image. They are incredibly controlling, and they want to control everything. If EXO were given a little bit more freedom to create whatever they wanted to create, I reckon they would produce better music, or at least something slightly different, and I would be willing to pay good money for that. So yeah, I actually think SM hold them back in some ways, and having a large company like that, there are positives and negatives, of course, and I definitely think there are a fair amount of negatives. So I think it's not really a good point to use. If you're going to say EXO are overrated, you can't bring up SM. Anyway, now it's time for the counter argument. Yes, I'm going to argue both sides. They rely incredibly heavily on their vocalists. Almost every EXO song is a pop track with soft pop vocals. There's not many, really intense tracks. I can really only think of a couple. Run This, maybe Diamond. Every other track is pop, and they're very, very, very reliant on Chen and Baekhyun as vocalists. Of course, EXO, they're filled with superb vocalists, but when I think about the best vocals in certain songs, they are often given to Chen and Baekhyun, and that, I think, it is something to mention, because it shows a displacement in line distribution and that sort of thing, and that has to be brought up. Like, when I think back to other boy bands, that there was always that was one of the biggest issues with them, is that there was just a pretty boy, and then there's those incredible vocalists, and they are all superb vocalists in their own right, but there definitely is a displacement of talent within the group. Their writing skills as well are fairly weak and inconsistent. In terms of the songs they have written, I only really like Touch It and Coco Bop on some level. In general, their writing skills are below par, and I prefer the songs that they themselves do not write. I would like to see them write more of their songs, but at the same time, they don't tend to be their strongest songs. The rap line is not strong. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not. Kai, Seon and Chenyol, it's not a strong rap line, and I actually do like what EXO do with their rap line. They don't overutilize it, they only give them small parts, and I think that does work. But when we're talking about them in comparison to, every other group, the rap line is not as good. And finally, their songs are fairly derivative. They're often very simple, with basic synthesizers in the instrumental, and they're pop, they're dance pop songs. So I definitely think there is some criticism to be aimed there, because they don't necessarily branch out enough. I do think The War is a good example of where they have tried to branch out and it has succeeded, but they need to do that more. So in conclusion, what's my opinion? In my opinion, they're not overrated. I think there definitely are criticisms to be made of EXO, but to call them overrated is, I think, incredibly short-sighted, and I think it's also incredibly unfair to the members, who are all supremely talented and they make good music. They may be under SM Entertainment, you may hate them, but they are incredibly talented and do not deserve to be called overrated. So yeah, that was interesting video. Let me know whether you enjoyed this. Just remember, all of this is just opinions or points I wanted to make. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this format. This is sort of a new series I'm going to be doing. Thank you very much for watching. This is going to be Gino signing out. It's time to edit this absolute monster of a video. It's going to be like 12 minutes long. Oh no, what a disaster.